and welcome to Nerdsplaining Podcast, part 2 of our Halloween special episode with our guest, Adam Murray. Adam, we're back.
Hey, yeah. So we were talking about She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yes. You want the dirt, the scoop.
Yeah, so I mean there's not really dirt per
It's
se.
fine.
Uh
It's the scoop.
I didn't really know who Tatiana Maslany was prior to going. I had never seen Orphan Black.
So good.
And a lot of
Yeah.
people, that's what everyone says.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's
says
really good.
it's phenomenal. I Googled her and I saw photos of her and everything. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I saw little clips, but I didn't see like a full episode. And then I went to set, and after I did the COVID test and passed that and everything, I went to I did wardrobe and then makeup, and I had missed Mark Ruffalo in makeup. They said he had just left.
Ah,
when they were like, I guess they were drawing the Hulk dots on him or whatever, so they could do the facial tracking and all that. But then I go to set to do my scene with Tatiana, and the first time I meet her is when we do like the scene. So they've built that apartment complex in a soundstage where her door and all that was.
right.
And basically, I meet her when she opens up the door and they're running the scene. Like that's the first time I see her is they open the door, and I was very surprised. I feel like photos don't do her justice. She is ridiculously attractive in person. Like just stunningly attractive. I've never had an issue where I've just drawn a blank after looking at a woman in the eyes. And I mean, like I think the first time we did the scene, they shut the door, and like there's a ton of people behind me, like the stairwell or whatever, PAs and sound guys and whatnot. And I turn to look at the piano, and I'm like, she is distractingly attractive. And they're like, yeah, oh yeah, we know. It's like, what? There's no warning for that? You're not gonna tell me? And so we run the scene several times, and on one of the scenes, she opens up the door, and I look her in the eyes, and my mind just goes blank. Like I think I forgot my own name. I'm like, I'm sorry, we're gonna take this back. And we do the scene. It was either the very next take or the one right after that. She's obviously catches on to why, I'm flustered. And in one of the takes, she like opens the door, and as she's talking to me, she just like runs her hand down my chest, and I'm like,
Oh my god.
stop! What are you doing with your your
great.
feminine wiles over there? Hey, all right.
Adam
It's
starts
like-
making those old-timey turn-on noises, like humming.
Yeah. But I mean, it was
Hilarious.
perfect because it snapped me out of it, and I was like, all right, business, kind of thing. But I mean, she was hilarious, super talented, obviously, extremely attractive. I feel like no one should have it all like that. Like she's like, if she's not the perfect human, she has me completely fooled. Like I am convinced there's no one. She's won the genetic lottery somehow.
See,
Like
Adam, I feel the same
I
way.
get it.
but
I can relate. I can relate.
I'm way more petty. Like I'm okay with someone being very talented and attractive. What I hate are children who are instantly talented or old people who are in better shape than I am. Because both of those, I don't need. I don't
Jesus.
appreciate any of it.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone,
better
when
off
you-
in the beginning,
everyone
you're
older
killer
than you
at
is
the end.
in better
No,
shape,
you're
dude.
making me look bad now.
Yeah.
I don't like any of that.
the fact that they're still on the earth says that they're in
Yeah.
better shape than.
Yeah, I don't like
Look,
that. So it's a
everyone's
lot
in
to
better
work
shape
for.
than Eric. Let's just get that out of the way, right?
Hey, you shut
Yeah,
up right
well-
now. How dare you?
Yeah, when you see like a 70-year-old with abs, you're just like, what are you doing? Like, come
Oh,
on,
man.
man. You're supposed to be
if
eating
I see a
Werther's
7-year-old
originals.
abs, I want to scare them for the onset of a heart attack. Like, I don't want to be the thing that kills them, but I want to think that kind of moves it along. Like, let's just kind of brought this up. You're making everyone else feel not good about themselves. So I understand that.
The 7-year-old bodybuilder that's like doing all the jungle gym stuff. Like he's doing an inverted push-up with his feet in the air.
What are you bad doing, about myself? I don't need you showing exactly why I'm not good.
That's not a blatant overachiever. There's no need for that. There really isn't.
Seriously.
But those guys exist. Like
I know.
I've seen them. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Too many.
Like what are you doing, man? Like why?
Like every time I see a former good-looking actor who's like now over the age and they're hitting the wall, I'm like, good. Thank you for aging.
Just say Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe makes me feel like a champion. Exactly. I'm like, oh man.
So you gotta hate Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah,
Paul Rudd,
all of them.
and Mario Lopez. There you go. Those are the top four.
I'm waiting for them to become severely immobile so I can like push them off a chair or something. I gotta feel better about myself.
Not gonna happen. Look at.
I gotta say, there's something. I feel like for me personally, I like the dudes that spend a little time not attractive and then they did that later. Like Paul Rudd, he wasn't ripped with abs.
Right.
You know, he was just kind of a skinny dude before. Or the guy
he was a normal guy.
the guy who's in Guardians of the Galaxy and
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Yeah. He was the fat, chubby dude.
Yeah.
For a long time, funny chubby dude, and then, he got abs, and all of a sudden, like, lost his marriage, and every woman in the world's like, oh my god.
And now he's playing an Italian video game character. That guy is unstoppable at this point.
Oh,
you get abs, and you can do whatever you want.
Oh, that's right. He's Mario, isn't he?
He's Mario, yeah.
They couldn't find someone who's actually Italian?
No, they couldn't.
Apparently not.
Yeah, what is he, Irish?
Beautiful has aged out, so they couldn't get him. So they just said, screw it. We're going to go.
We're
going to go with Chris Pratt.
Johnny is the other guy from Eternals. He buffed up.
Is he?
Right.
Yeah.
The guy who was
Eternals.
He buffed up, and he was a regular.
He buffed up.
Yeah.
Big time. He got ripped. Yeah.
Yeah. See, when I see guys like that, or the dude from Superbad, who lost all the weight. I mean, he kind of went a little crazy and got all the tattoos. Jonah Hill. Yeah.
Jonah Hill. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, good for those dudes. Like they know what it's like to be on this end of the spectrum. I have zero hatred for those guys. Like, by all means, that's the reason they're funny. It's because they had those formative years. The defense mechanism. That's where humor comes from.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
So, I mean,
added father issues, both those things. Body defense mechanism, fathers.
Sure.
Those things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Family trauma.
Yeah. It's all connected. It's all interwoven to each other. Now, Adam, I know you do tons of genre stuff. Obviously, She-Hulk, Stranger Things, Cobra Kai. I mean, you've done other stuff too, but are you a horror movie fan?
Yeah, I got a couple of friends who are in the new Halloween movie.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry.
I was supposed to go yesterday and watch it with them. I've seen it now twice. You say you're sorry about them. I like the movie. I know people are hating on it.
I'm a huge Halloween fan.
I've heard people love it or hate it. There's no middle ground.
I have too. Like some people who hate it, some that love it. I don't know. I just for a fanatic to this saga, what you want to call it?
Saga,
Halloween saga, whatever. I mean, this is because the first obviously is in the same world, 1978 version, right?
Yeah.
So to end it the way it did, I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. But I know it's very divisive. Some people just hate it or love it. I don't know.
I watched it and I just enjoyed it as a movie. But as I was watching it, the two things that I figured people would hate are, and can we talk about it? Can we give spoilers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The two things I figured people would hate. You tell me which one it is, or if it's something different. I figured people were going to hate on the fact that he had an accomplice, and people were going to hate on the way she killed him because he's been shot and stabbed so many times, and she basically just slit his wrist and let him bleed out.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
That
no,
didn't
no.
bother
She
me that
didn't,
much.
she didn't slit his wrist. She put him in a
Well,
human hamburger maker.
that's true.
Well, yeah,
I think that's what really
but
killed him. He
he,
could have
he
been alive still, with the
he
wrist
was
thing.
yeah, he was like dead before that, and then they
Right.
really mulched him up to really drive the point home. He's not coming back, kind of thing.
No,
But
the compass thing was a huge thing for me because I
You
mean,
know,
listen,
I
it's
actually like the accomplice thing because I thought it was going to play off like a passing of the torch. That's what I thought they were gonna do.
well,
So
they
I
that's
didn't
was
do
what I
really
anyway,
thought.
surprised when they
which
did
they
it.
didn't do anyway.
I know, but the build up toward it, I was like, "Oh, cool! This is going to be the new Michael Myers. Like, this is going to be
That's what I thought was going on. And
right."
I was like, you know what? This is kind of a cheesy thing, but at the same time, it was done so well that I was like, this is fun. And then they didn't. Like, I mean,
That's the
now that
part that bummed me out because they didn't. That's when I was like, "Oh, come on!" I was
Right.
all
So,
in on
yes,
that
you don't
idea.
have that payoff for that story, which I get. Like,
Right,
okay,
right,
fine,
right.
build it up, and I was thinking the same thing. Okay, this is a new guy. You know, when they're gonna reimagine, reboot it, or whatever. Okay, nope, not even that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just yeah. I listen for the finale. I wanted to see more Michael Myers. That's, for me.
What more? He's been in like 80 billion movies. You've seen him do everything. Unless he's going to become a ninja
This
or
is the
go into
last
space
one, man.
like
This is the
Jason.
one.
There's
He's got to
nothing else
go
for him
out,
to do. It just
guns
is.
blazing, and he gets his wrist cut. I mean, come on, we don't want to see that.
how many different ways can he stab someone into a wall and let them hang there? I mean,
100, and I
I'll
love it
tell you what.
every
The
single
one
time.
thing I never got to see, like an interpretive dance Michael Myers murder scene. Like that's the only thing I haven't seen him do.
I will say, the way they started it with that kid accidentally dying and all that, that was chef's kiss.
I
Like
like that.
That was cool.
it was
That was cool.
so horrific, such a
Yeah.
horrific way.
Uh-huh.
Like I remember watching it go, huh! And then I was like, I mean, the fact that I had that reaction was like, okay, this is perfect. Like,
Yeah.
So, Adam, what
yeah.
aside the new Halloween, what would be like your top three go-to like horror movies? Like if it's Halloween and you want to get just shit scared out of you, these are the movies you would go.
I mean, my favorite one are probably, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street has always been my favorite. I watched that when I was a kid. I think I was 5 years old, and I watched every one that they had out at the time. And there's a couple of the Puppet Master series I really like.
Oh, interesting.
Oh my god, I remember the
and
Puppet Master. Yeah.
I think my all-time favorite. I mean, I enjoy Stephen King. So when I was a kid, I think I had to have been like maybe four. I kept renting Maximum Overdrive
Oh my God.
from and I couldn't get through it.
I don't blame you.
It scared me so much. I couldn't get through it. And there's a scene in that movie where a steamroller runs over this kid, and Stephen King wanted there to be enough blood in this fake kid that when it runs over him, the steamroller comes around, that there's blood on the steamroller as it comes over.
Right.
And they put so much blood in the little fake kid thing that as it runs over him, it pops the kid's head like a zit, squirts blood everywhere. And I think they had to, like, it apparently it shot blood like 50 feet or something. And it was apparently so horrific that he had to cut part of that scene so that it wouldn't get like an NC-17 rating.
Good God.
Like it was apparently just much more horrific than they thought it was going to be.
Did they ever
So I
show
used-
that as like an outtake? Like you could see the full uncut scene before he cut it down?
I don't know.
Look
I
that
know
up
they
on
still,
YouTube later.
they still have. I know they still have the thing where like the blood comes around on the steel drum of the steamroller.
Right.
But so I remember, like I was even at that young age, I was trying to conquer my fears, and so I would watch that movie as much as I could, and then I was like, oh my God, this is too much, and I would turn it off, and then become doomed and we'd turn back in. I remember begging my mom to rent it again. She's like, if you don't watch it all the way, we're never renting this thing again. And so I watched it on a little TV in my mom's room, like the TV was on like her dresser, like covered in clean clothes or whatever. The shit's all around it, and I was like watching it, and, like turning around, like laying on her bed, going, "Oh my god!" And like, okay, I gotta watch it. Like I forced myself to watch, and I had nightmares, dude. When I watched all of I think there was only, I don't think Freddy's Dead had come out yet. There might have only been three, maybe four Nightmare on Elm Street movies at the time, and I watched them all, and I was having horrible nightmares. And the kid up the street knew that I was having these nightmares. Like I remember, I can still see one vividly to this day. It was I was like seeing Freddy's face. I feel like I was like not really asleep. I was seeing Freddy's face, and I pulled the covers up to get under the covers. And I remember seeing this like almost like vortex going like straight up like through the covers kind of thing. Just Freddy's face just spinning around. I was having horrible nightmares.
Yeah.
Kid up the street knew about it, and he brought a knife, knew where my window was, and was scratching on my window with a knife to scare the
Awesome kid.
I mean, awesome, but no.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Come on.
I mean, I was terrified. Hysterical looking back on it. But yeah, he was always Freddy Krueger was from that point on was always he had a deeply held respect for me. Funny, interesting thing, the Nightmare on Elm Street series is where they pioneered having humor in a horror movie because they figured out that if you were laughing before you were scared, there was a farther emotional travel. And so the jump scare or the scare scene didn't have to be as bad for it to seem to the viewer as much worse because there was a farther emotional travel than just going back to neutral and scared and back to neutral.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, Jose, how about you? What would you recommend as like a go-to horror movie for Halloween?
Well, the original Halloween for me, obviously. I love the first one.
What do you think about Halloween 3?
I love it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
I'll be honest. I saw it once when I was really young. I didn't care for it, so I don't know. Maybe if I watch it now, I might look at it differently.
When I first watched it, I hated it because it had nothing to do with Michael Myers.
That's what.
When I hit,
right,
like,
exactly.
19, 20, I watched it. I go, this is awesome.
But I was really young, so I don't know. I never went back to it because I didn't have Michael Myers. Like, what was the point here? But
it scared the shit out of me. When those kids put on the mask and their heads turn into cockroaches, that scared the absolute shit out of me.
So good.
A lot of people talk highly about that. Like lately, people bring part three, and I'm about to go back and watch it. I can't like say honestly if it's good or bad. I don't know.
I didn't like it because it didn't have Michael Myers in it when I saw it at the time because it wasn't what I was expecting.
Exactly.
But the fact that it wasn't what I was expecting, I think, terrified me more. Like those heads and wearing those masks and turning everyone's heads into fucking cockroaches just was terrifying to me.
Like I said, it took me a while to get to it, but when I watched it again as an older, like, man, this is actually really solid.
One of these days, I'm going to put that on. Like I said, I was a wee little lad, but way back when I saw it. Forget it. What else? The Conjuring, as far as a recent one, I love The Conjuring.
I thought the first Conjuring has one of the best, simplest scares I've seen in a long time. When they're playing the clapping game,
that scene was genius.
And the hands come out of the shadows, and it claps, and the match goes off. It's so simple, but such a good scare.
Yeah. So I love that. I love The Conjuring as far as the recent one. And then I don't know, man, it's tough in there. Shining, of course. Exorcist. Probably the other one.
I feel like the Shining is. Everyone says the Shining. Well, I guess the same thing for.
It doesn't hold up as well.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Everyone says Freddy.
So. Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my top 3. OG Nightmare. It's one of my top 3.
Yeah. So. Did you guys like the remake? What's this guy's?
It had its moments.
Oh, I don't know that I liked the fact that they made him a pedophile.
He's always been
like that.
Was he like a pedophile? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
the reason why the parents set him on fire in the first place.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I don't remember that from the series.
He was always a pedophile.
Well, maybe he just killed the kids. I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, I thought he just murdered.
Right. Because, like, that's when the parents got mad.
I think originally wasn't he innocent of whatever it was that they accused him of, and they killed him,
Well,
which is
I
why
think when they
he
made
came
him the
back.
son of 1,000 psychotic rapists, they kind of solidified that he's a bad dude. It's not a
Yeah.
misunderstanding. He's legit the worst.
Maybe I need to go back and rewatch them all. I missed the whole
Yeah, I don't
pedophile
think he was
thing.
a
See, as I told you,
pedophile. I
Adam,
don't
I'm the
know. I don't
nerd.
think he's a
I
pedophile.
know all this shit. It's
He
just
may, he
locked in
may,
here
he
forever.
may
I
have
mean,
been a
So
pedophile.
maybe they didn't go so far as to actually say it. Maybe they just
it was
hinted
very
at it.
subtle. It was the
I didn't
80s.
pick
It
up
was
on it.
implied. It was like, he's like
Different
one of
times.
those
I'll give you
guys that
that.
has a
Different times.
handlebar mustache. That's all you got to say. And I was like, okay, I get it. Pedophile. Done.
So what else was Eric? You said Nightmare on Elm Street. What were the other ones?
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm also to me one of the scariest movies. It's not supernatural, but it's just so intense. Is Funny Games. That movie
I know what you're talking
scares
about. Yeah.
me so much. It's one of those things where I just cannot. Like, it's so uncomfortable and so real that as it goes through, I'm just like I'm like there's certain parts where I literally have to like just like a kid like look away because I can't see how bad it's gonna get because it's all like it could happen. You could just have that situation occur, especially when they're two rich white kids. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's too real to me. But the scariest movie still to this day is the OG The Ring, not the U.S. version, the
Oh,
South
thank you.
Korean.
Yes, agree. Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
and I got a great story about this. So when I saw it, I got really excited, and I told all my friends, guys, I got this new horror movie. You're gonna dig it. So I got a bunch of people. We went to my friend's apartment. We all got stoned, and we ordered pizza. And we started watching The Ring, and we're going through the movie. And the lights are off, and everyone is into it because we're all inebriated, and it's super in. We're super into it. And then the movie ends. And by the way, the original Ring, when the girl gets out of the TV, that looks better than any of the CG versions they did. Like that's how good that they shot the effects, those practical effects. And then when the movie's ending, everyone is just sitting there in silence, taking it in. And I kid you not, as the movie's ending, a lightning bolt strikes outside. Now we're in Miami, so a lightning bolt strikes outside, and all the power in the building gets knocked out. All of it. TV, lights, the square block, it's pitch black now. Everyone is freaking out, and then the phone starts to ring. I'm not even joking.
Wow. Are you kidding?
Grown dudes start to cry. They go, what is going on, dude? They're freaking out. So I'm panicking because I'm the guy who brought the movie. Like, did they just curse everybody? So I slowly walk to the phone. I grab it. I go, hello? And I was looking at me, like trying to figure out in the dark, like what's going on. And I just hang up the phone. And I look at everybody like, what's going on? I go, the pizza's here. And he can't go up because the elevator's knocked out because there's no power. So I got to go down and get the pizza. And but for that 34 seconds, it was the scariest moment of our lives. Now, Adam, I see you grab something there.
Yeah. I wanted to show this off. My brother got this for me. I believe it was for Christmas of last year. And this has to be one of the coolest box sets. I had to go dig it out of my closet because we haven't had our Blu-ray player set up. But this has got to be one of the coolest box sets I've ever. It's like these are like.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
It's the trunk from Puppet Master.
Oh my god!
That's
Pretty
that's awesome.
It has all the movies in it. It's upside down. It's upside down.
That's pretty cool. Though.
That's pretty cool, dude.
How freaking cool is that? Like,
that's pretty cool.
It's like it's legitimately wood.
Wow. Damn.
That's incredible, dude. Like, if you wanted to drop your nerd cred, you did it right there. You just slammed it on the table. No questions asked.
I guess apparently they didn't make very many of these. And, like, they were, like, people were selling on eBay for, like, fortunes and stuff. But I still have it in the box. Like, this is the second, I bought the box set for this when I was in college. It was nowhere near this cool.
Sure.
But I guess apparently it's gained more of a cult following. But
That's
I
awesome.
mean, who doesn't love watching Nazis get murdered by puppets? You know.
Come on.
Listen,
Pastime,
I believe that is in the Constitution of Israel. Puppets murder Nazis.
very popular over there.
That is
Yeah.
Article 3 of the Israeli Constitution. Now, Adam, if your brother got you that, what did you get him?
That's a good question.
Oh man,
A
I don't
baseball
remember
cap.
I don't remember.
Gift card.
I mean, I don't remember what I got him that Christmas. I got him. I mean, I get him cool stuff all the time. I got him. I remember one time I got him a very expensive watch.
That's a
and
very adult gift.
he doesn't. He never wears it because he's afraid
then
to
screw
wear
him.
it out.
Oh, great.
He wears it. He wears it when I'm around him, and otherwise it like sits in his. I've got him a few watches.
So your watch is his ugly sweater. He only wears it when
No,
you're
no,
around.
no. That's not the issue. He loves the watch. The problem is he knows how much it is, like how much it's worth. He's worried someone's gonna rob him for the watch. Like no one cares. I had to tell him like I said you have no idea how much the cheapest Rolex is. People wear Rolexes all the time. Like I mean, you couldn't even buy a Rolex for the watch I gave him might have been a down payment on a like it's I mean like I'm like dude you're fine, wear the thing, no one cares, I promise you. Most people won't even know what it is that you're wearing, you know.
If he wears a long enough sleeve, they won't even know he's wearing it. So it's
Exactly.
there's ways around it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, enjoy the thing.
It's a good sweater weather watch. So just saying, there's ways around it if you wanted to bad enough. Now, Jose, I know we have a few nerd news things we got to cover before we wrap up. Why don't you let us kick off the nerdy news?
Yeah, well, let's do one just for time wise, and this is the big one. This is the one all the nerds are buzzing about, right? Marvel and DC. Are you a Marvel DC guy?
Adam,
me? Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
obviously it just announced finally. I mean, Eric, you and I talked about this ad nauseum, right? The last few months when who's taking over and the rumors and yada yada yada. Finally, right, revealed that there's going to be two heads of DC Studios, which is going to be his own studio reporting directly to David Zaslav, of course, the new CEO. That's going to be, of course, James Gunn and Peter Safran, a longtime producer. James Gunn, dude, I mean, wow. That's major, and I love this news, and I think most people do, right?
Who would have thought when the conservative douchebags were trying to cancel James Gunn, it would lead to him becoming DC's Kevin Feige or co-Kevin Feige? Like that is, life is a mysterious journey, my friend.
And that's great, listen, because the producer Safran, he's been working with James Gunn for like forever, ever since like PG porn, but way back in the day when Gunn wrote and started. He produced that for him, and then recently he produced Peacemaker, which we love,
and also the Suicide Squad. He was a producer on that too.
So they have like good relationship. One guy understands the business side, and James Gunn can now focus primarily on the creative side, which is what you want. James Gunn's awesome. I remember before he got canned, he was going to be, he was going to be the hand of the king to, of course, the king Kevin Feige to lead the intergalactic part of the
very much so. That was a big rumor. He was going to handle the cosmic side of Marvel.
Into Alan Thorne fired him. Alan Thorne. Yeah, I think fired him. Who, funny enough, is working side by side with David Zaslav, so he actually hired him back. Go figure.
With DC. Look at that.
Yeah, a little tidbit, right? So yeah, them working together. I mean, this guy's produced a bunch of stuff. Speaking of horror, that Safran's been like the Conjuring series, Annabelle,
right?
The Nun. He's done all those, and he did Shazam, which we liked recently. Aquaman, which did well, which was fine. So yeah, he's got experience. This is a home run, dude. I mean, man, I work out, dude. I don't know.
What do you think about it, Adam? Are you excited about having James Gunn co-run DC film now?
I mean, I honestly don't know how that's going to change what's been going on since he's been producing and directing and so forth before this. So I honestly don't know.
But I mean,
does it change anything?
I think.
I mean, it's more of a guaranteed quality control. If you like what he's done and what he knows people can do, and kind of like putting people together, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. It's sort of like you have a baby And every time you leave the baby with the babysitter, you come back and she's drunk and she's got a heroin needle sticking out of her arm. That's been DC movies for the most part. And now you have like Mrs. Doubtfire. You know it's Robin Williams and cross-dressing, but it feels more trustworthy. You're like, you know what? I'm okay with this because he loves our kids.
That's a good point. And it can get worse.
Yeah, it can get worse.
But James Gunn's great. Listen, I love it. I mean, and James Gunn's a encyclopedia of geekdom, right? He loves these properties.
Peacemaker was dropping like deep cut characters that guys like me were struggling to remember. Like, well, oh yeah, that's right, there was that dude. So like, I got really excited when I heard about it. I'm excited about everything from like his Marvel Swan. The song from doing the Guardians Christmas special to Guardians 3 is like, now it's to me those are just trailers for what's going to happen with the new DC. I feel like I saw Black Adam, by the way. I liked it. Wasn't the best, but it was fun. Compared to everything else DC's been doing, it was a step in the right direction. Which sucks because I was all ready to call it Black Adam, more like Black Adam. That's what I was kind of hoping.
You had that saved in your pocket.
Yeah, I was oh man, it's gonna kill when they come out. But it was like, oh no, it's not that bad. Is it great? No, but it's not that bad. My kids love it.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen it yet. I gotta go see it.
Like I equate it to like Shazam, right? I put it on par with Shazam for the most part, right? Very similar style.
I still think Shazam was a little better. I think Shazam was a little better.
You may be right.
I love Shazam. I thought Shazam was so good.
That's what
to me.
If you like Shazam, you're gonna like this, but I still think Shazam was a little better.
Which is fair. Okay. Now you may be right. Well, but I say it's on par, right? Not kind of same.
On par. Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't this play into the same? Like, doesn't this lead into Shazam? Like, doesn't Shazam?
Black Adam is a Shazam character that they're now trying to make his own. Like stable dude, sort of like how they try to make Morbius, even though Morbius is a Spider-Man character. But this is much better than Morbius. Way better than Morbius. But, yeah. So
Morbius wasn't
if you haven't seen
terrible, but it wasn't good either.
It is rough. It's rough.
It's rough.
So,
but it's in the same world.
Way better than Morbius, but not as good as Shazam. But definitely a good step in the right direction. Yeah. And it only makes me excited. If James Gunn was involved in this movie, I think this movie could have been really good. Well, maybe not great, but it could have
James Gunn taking like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He's got Henry Cavill back. Come on, man, that's a dream come true right there.
Don't spoil. I got a feeling he hasn't seen the movie yet. Stupid. Come on.
Everybody knows Henry Cavill's back.
Maybe you don't know.
Superman. Come on, bro.
Maybe by the time this movie by the time this episode comes out, I'll have seen it, and then
you go.
Well, be sure to tweet at us and go, "I've seen it, and I declare," and you give like a thumbs up or a thumbs down or something like that, or let us know what you think, and let us the people know what you think. It'd be great.
I'll say this because they say James Gunn's still going to be directing some stuff, which is fine, which is great. I got a feeling, man, if he takes on Superman, I think that'll be amazing.
I don't think he's going to be Superman.
It's just wishful thinking. It's just I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
To me, I know this is going to sound like a bad call, but this is only going to work for Superman if it's a director. This director cannot be involved in the story. He can only direct. Get J.J. Abrams to do Superman, and visually, it's going to be fantastic.
No.
What did you guys think of?
Fantastic.
Take it back.
What did you guys think of the Superman horror movie?
The Superman horror movie?
Yeah. Oh. Red Hood or whatever it was called.
Wait. You mean the super like when I was a little kid or?
It was a little kid.
Yeah, that was the James Gunn produced movie. Yes,
was it?
It was like evil Superman, basically.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called. It was like a little kid. It was a horror film.
Yeah, that was good. That was
pretty cool, actually.
That was
a good idea.
Very cool concept.
Yeah, very cool. Like almost like
Brightburn.
Like Chronicle was.
Brightburn. That's what it is. Brightburn.
There you go. That wasn't bad. I love the idea of that. Okay, a superhero.
Yeah, it was what we talk about, but everyone has a good feeling of like, all right, I was actually not pretty good. That was pretty fun.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was not bad.
So
it was actually better than I thought it was going to be.
But Adam, we're getting to the point where we're getting to wrap up. Before we do, I just wanted to do a couple announcements. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show. We appreciate you guys checking all the time. Don't forget to follow Adam on the social medias. Adam, why don't you give people all your handles and whatnot?
At Adam Murray Live on TikTok or Instagram, or I think that's how you can find me on YouTube. Any of those things.
And the Stranger Things.
Oh
and
yeah.
She-Hulk.
Yeah.
No, if you happen to be there.
If you happen to watch that show.
Guys, of course, we also have our social medias. Don't forget to check us out at Nerdsplaining Pod on Instagram, at Nerdsplaining _ on Twitter. Also, don't forget, I'm doing a Kickstarter for some additional things I can't announce yet, but it's coming there, so please keep an eye out as well. Don't forget, as always, you can check out this show as well as shows like The Watch List, which is a weekly breakdown of all the TV shows coming out, where Jose and Chewy show all the stuff that's come out, give you their honest reviews. Jose gives sneak peeks on all upcoming movies, which, Jose, are you going to be doing a sneak peek for Wakanda Forever?
I am not, man. Last night they had one. I could not. They could not get me in. I was forced to go see the first episode of Wednesday for Netflix, which comes out next
you just
month.
released that as well.
Yeah. So I just kept sitting there like, damn, why am I not in Black Panther for Christ's sake?
I know.
But I am getting another screening next week. Another screening for that next week, so I'll catch that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, let us know.
I hear good things.
I hear good things too, but we'll get into that when it comes out. But you can check all that out, including stuff like Thanos' Choice and, of course, Nerdsplaining on the Latin Nerd Network on YouTube. You can check out all those shows there as well. If you want to check out all the original audio episodes, you can go to ericdasilva.com. We have it all there for free on the landing page, ERICDASILVA. We can check out my original first comedy album, Adorably Offensive, available as well, which is a great Christmas gift or a Halloween gift, whichever way you want to hurt someone's feelings. Get that album. It's a great gift for that and for funny friends as well. And guys, that has been the show. As always, let's give it up for one time for Adam Murray. Thank you, Adam, for doing
Adam.
2 episodes with us. Hey, you are an officer and a gentleman. We appreciate your time. Guys, I have been Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. We have been Nerdsplaining. And if you don't know, now you know. Boom.